Well, on August the 8th, Ohio voters will have a chance to strengthen their state's constitution by voting yes on issue 1. Now, one thing I've noticed over the last 20 years, I used to think that these ballot initiatives were really good things. In fact, my home state of Louisiana, we didn't have one, and I entertained trying to get that into our Constitution to allow these things to go onto the ballots. But what I found is this actually is big business, and increasingly so, where the left, flush with money, basically buying states by amending state constitutions and taking over the states. Now, we've seen this in the last election cycle on the issue of life. Well, that's what's at stake and much more in Ohio. Join me now to talk about this is Ken Blackwell, Senior Fellow for Human Rights and Constitutional Governance here at the Family Research Council, and previously served as the mayor of Cincinnati, as well as the Secretary of State for Ohio, which oversaw elections, so he knows a little bit about it. Ken, welcome back to Washington Watch.
Hey, Tony, good to be with you.
All right, so let's talk about issue 1 that will be on the ballot August the 8th. Let's talk about what it does and why it has been proposed.
Well, Tony, the Ohio State Constitution has been amended 172 times since 1851. And so this is a simple amendment to increase the durability of the state constitution by taking the threshold from 50% to 60%. And we believe that it would be still much easier to change Ohio's constitution than the US Constitution that has only been changed in 245 years, 27 times. But it allows for reasoned debate and vigorous debate, and it doesn't invite changing the Constitution either of the country or the state on whimsy.
I mean, this has become big business. I mean, people are actually paid to go out and collect signatures to put things onto the ballots, and then, of course, there's a lot of money that comes in. We're seeing the ads already in Ohio where there is this effort to vote down Amendment 1. Now, this is connected to the life issue, is it not? This is one of the issues that the left is going after the state of Ohio because Ohio is a pro-life state.
Yeah, and let me give you a perspective and a line of reasoning why it would be so disastrous if in November, because of a low threshold of only 50% plus 1, the radical left would be able to change the Constitution and nullify parental rights. Right now in the state of Ohio, if a minor wants to get aspirin at school, that minor has to have parental, the parents of that adolescent has to be notified, and they have to approve granting that child aspirin. Well, if the November amendment to our Constitution is passed, that youngster could have life-threatening, permanent changes to their state of being without even notifying the parents. And so whether you're talking about an abortion, or you're talking about having sex change operations started, it would be done without parental notification. And so this to me sounds like a community going off track if we would allow that to happen.
So it's an attack on parental rights, it's an attack on life, it's an attack on minors. I mean, it's an attack on everything. Everything that is moral and constitutional. So the money that's coming in to work against issue 1, which simply sets the threshold at 60%, says you got to reach the 60% threshold to change the Constitution. Is this money from inside the state or outside the state?
It's coming from outside the state heavily. And what's disappointing is that there are forces within the state that should be suiting up to resist that are not stepping up. and that's a crying shame. And so, we have to do it the old-fashioned way. We have to put our shoulders to the wheel, and we have to get it done, neighbor to neighbor, church member to church member. What we can pass issue one, raising the threshold, and then we can defeat this attack on life, parental rights, and downright moral decency in the state of Ohio this coming November.
So round one is August the 8th, where issue one is on the ballot. Folks in Ohio need to go out and support this, which would protect the Constitution, raising that threshold to change it to 60%, because come November is when the attacks come on parental rights, the sanctity of life, and on down the list.
Absolutely, Tony. This is a battle royal, and we, in fact, have to suit up, and we have to fight back.
All right. Well, we're going to encourage folks there in the state of Ohio, in the Buckeye State, to turn out and vote on August the 8th. Ken Blackwell, always great to see you.
Good to see you, Tony. All the best.